Professor Wergeles here. We just got done setting up brackets. We're looking at Chrome. We're using Live Preview, which is one awesome feature that brackets has. Now let's learn the 5 required tags. So I'm going to erase the code we wrote. The 5 required tags consist of the doc type. Now you're going to see the doc type here. It's all in black. The doc type is telling the browser what version of HTML we have. In this case, we have HTML5. So this is the default HTML5 doc type. That's the first requirement. The second requirement is an HTML tag. Next comes the head. Next comes the title. And then the last one is going to be the body. These are the 5 required tags. Number 1 is the doc type. Number 2 is the HTML tag. Number 3 is the head. Number 4 is the title. Number 5 is the body. And this is the structure we'll be using in this course. So you'll see I'm tabbing out the tags nicely. Everything's nice and neat. I'll usually have the doc type, which tells the browser what HTML version I'm using. Here's the start of my HTML. In the head is kind of like your attributes. One of them is the title or maybe the character set. Next is the body. The body will contain all the elements that are going to be displayed on the page. So right now I don't have anything. If we want to write that same paragraph tag, which was hello world, it's going to show up in the body. Now, the title tag also needs text in it for it to pass the validator. So usually you'll say, okay, this is my first page. Now, the title tag usually shows up on the page as the tab in the web browser. So you see first page here, that's going to be on the tab there. That's the title. And then any content being displayed is in the body. Now, technically, I can take this paragraph tag. So I did a cut by clicking Control X. And I'm going to do a paste by clicking Control V or Command V. Save it. You'll see it, hello world shows up. Now, even though it shows up on the page, this is not following proper programming techniques. And any question on the quiz, any challenge or an exam, I'm going to ask you proper programming techniques. So following proper programming techniques, all content must be in the body. I can put it in the head. It shows up, but that's not where it's supposed to be. All content should be in the body. So I put the paragraph tag there. It shows up. I have something in the title. That's perfect right there. Now, we're going to be using the HTML5 validator. So if I come over here on the web, search HTML validator, you'll see one by validator.w3.org. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to validate by file upload. So I'm going to select validate by file upload. I'm going to choose a file. We're going to go to my documents, my 2830, lecture number 1, first page.html. I'm going to open this up. And then I'm going to check this HTML file, which is going to validate the page. You'll see, 1, I have an error. Errors are not good. The character encoding was not declared. So every challenge that you submit, make sure you run it through the validator. If there's any warnings or there's any errors, you're going to get points taken off on the challenge. And if it's a requirement, you'll get a 0 on the challenge for not passing the validator. So it's important, as you're writing code, check it in the validator. Right before you submit the challenge, make sure you check it in the validator. So here's how you add the character set. I'm going to do a meta tag. This is my metadata. And I'm going to set the character set to, let's say, UTF-8. That's a common character set. I'm going to save the file, click back on the validator, and then select check again. So now you see the error is gone. Now it says warning. The language was not declared. It's a warning, so it's not going to cause any fatal crashes of your page. And you'll see the page still loads even though I don't define the character set. However, it's not proper programming techniques. The browsers nowadays are very powerful. So I can make a complete error. It should crash the whole page, but the browser is able to handle it because Chrome has a sophisticated browser and they don't want the page to crash. So they're going to fix the error for you. But if you do that on an interview or you do that on a production site, you're not going to be at that company very long because you're not following proper programming techniques. And even though the browser loads the page, it's not loading the page correctly. So you have to define the character set, and you also must define the language. That's going to be in the HTML tag. I'm going to say language is equal to, let's say, English. I'll save the page, do a refresh. You'll see it still loads the same. But if I go back on the validator and check the page again, you'll see this here. Document checking complete. No errors or warnings to show. When you get this message, go ahead and submit the challenge because you know your page has been written correctly, and therefore you won't get points taken off for this requirement. Now, we still got more to show. We're going to go over creating some HTML content. We're going to go over creating some CSS content, and I'm going to show you how to write the proper comment at the top of the challenge so you don't get points taken off. Stick with Professor Wergeles. We'll see you in the next video.